Grant Cardone here. Have you ever wondered how people buy this? Like my whole life, I have been just super intrigued by the wealthy, the people that buy the jet, that live the life. Like, I used to watch these homes on the ocean. I'm like, who owns that home? Who owns that jet? How did they do it? How did they buy it? And I created a training. I spent 35 years codifying what it takes to go from nothing, where I started. I remember when I could not afford one night, not one night in a hotel. Not even this nice, and it changed in a second, and it can for you too. Literally, look, just take a look here. Having the girl, okay? The hot chick, great wife,
thank you.
Beautiful kids, even a cowgirl, okay?
The cat sat in my hat.
I got 2 kittens on board. We're traveling across the country. The family's gonna go out for a little vacay. I'm gonna be doing some work while I'm out there, but while I'm out there, I wanna help you get what you want. It might not be a jet, maybe it's not a yacht, I don't know, whatever it is. You deserve to have that. And I have laid out a training, step by step, so simple. Regardless of where you are right now, you're in debt, you don't have any money, maybe you don't even have a job. Click the link below. I'm gonna give you this training for free. I wish somebody would have done this for me. I simplify wealth. I simplify how to get money, what to do with it once you get it, and how to multiply it. The most important lesson, how do you multiply it so that someone else, maybe you were serving, someone else you were working for, that money that you receive, you learn how to multiply it so that money works harder than you do. And who knows, maybe you don't get the jet, maybe you don't get the girl, okay? Maybe you don't even want the kids. Maybe you don't want the kids or the kittens, but you get to choose, okay? Click the link below. I want to give you this free training. It's absolutely free. Best part, it's free. The second best part, it will show you step by step what you have to do to get the life you deserve. America, man, what a great place.
My version of 10X allowed me to stand out. And when I stood out, I fucking showed out.
Finally, I feel like I'm doing something equivalent to what I'm supposed to do. Phenomenal success story. Give it up for Floyd Mayweather. Ladies and gentlemen, bring to the stage, John Travolta.
It's time for you to experience the power of the 10X Growth Conference.
10X is strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dana White. If you love yourself and believe in yourself, clap 2 times.
10X your income, 10X your business, 10X your life.
What if I could give you access to that one thing in my life that has made all the difference in who I am today? Whether it was writing 8 books, buying $2 billion worth of real estate, the marriage I have, the family I have, there's been one thing in all my 35 years of endeavors that has speeded up, given me the confidence, provided me with the persistence, and that thing is, you already know what I'm talking about? It's mentoring. It's mentoring. It's picking the right person at the right time in my life. You know, they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. God, you got to know this. Like the student is ready at different points in their life for different things in their life. This is something I'm extremely passionate about. If you're ready to go get it all, join me. I promise you this is a game changer. Let me mentor you. Hey, to all the hustlers out there, men and women, okay, you guys that are ready to get your game on, look, I learned a strategy.
This is the great secret of my life. The thing that has made me is one word: help. Like I'm a cocky little dude springing around, oh Grant doing this thing. But look, man, when you guys don't see me, I want to change. I want help. Receiving help, not giving help. Everybody wants to help everybody, but when are you going to help you? This has been the game changer of my life.
It changed my life forever with income. And I want to give this to you. I want to give it to you free.
This thing is packed with information and strategies and tips that you can use to change your life.
If and when it works for you, I want you to have the guts to share it with your friends, your family, your neighbors, and your coworkers. It's a game changer. It's about income, how to multiply income 10 times, and how to get yourself and your family in a situation where, regardless of what you're doing, how you're feeling, your physical condition, or whether you're working or not, money, income, cheddar keeps coming at you. Click the link below.
Hello. I love it. How you doing, man? You look good, dude.
Who does your fashion?
Who does my fashion? Well, this is a comfort look, but I got a stylist. I can't take all the credibility for it. I got a person that goes out and looks out for me, but I'm a stylish guy. I can throw some stuff on. This is me today. This is all me. This is my outfit. I like that. I like that shirt. That's like a little mock turtleneck. I like it.
That look?
Yeah. I like it. I see what you're doing. You didn't go full neck. You said I'm gonna go a little bit of neck. Still give you some.
I had a thick neck.
Yeah,
I had a thick
you
neck
didn't
when I
want
was
to cover
growing
up. You still want to show a little neck. So you said I'm gonna give you half. I'm gonna give you a half cover up with my mock neck.
You might not know this. I mentioned it backstage, but you are the inspiration behind me saying, "Hey, I want to run my own deal."
Okay.
Because when you did your tour.
Okay.
What inspired you to like, hey, I don't want to just be the comedian, as funny as this guy is, right?
Thank you.
He's funny.
Thank you.
But what triggered in you, Kevin, that said, hey, I want to run my own show, my own tour?
You know, when I think the beauty of what comedians do is understanding that you can be in charge of your own enterprise if you want to. You know, it's a job that you get out of what you put into it. So as many shows as you want to do, you can. We did 172 dates on my last tour. We probably did about 1.2 million in seats in total, like actual seats. 1.2 million to 1.5 million. Yeah. Cause you gotta think, we were in a position where we were doing arenas. So 16,000 seat arena. Let's say you do multiple shows, you're at 32,000. You do 2 shows in that city.
Two shows, how fast? Back to back?
I'll do same day. So let's say 7 and 10, that's 32,000 people for that day.
Same jokes?
Same jokes, same show with different personality, different energy, but you got to set. So, see, that's a joke right there. That's one of the jokes. So excited, thank you. Which they are excited. Thank you for that. Scared the shit out of me, by the way. But, you know, you got, let's say through the course of a weekend, 30, 60, 90, you're at 90,000 people for a weekend. So over the course of so many, you look and you add it, you go, wow, you do 1.2 million, 1.5 million. Probably did 100+ million last tour. 100+ million.
You can't make 100 million. You can't do 100 million just telling jokes. You got to own the show.
Well, I'm at a point where the business and touring is one that I control. So if I do a building, I don't need to get fronted. I don't need a promoter to basically ensure the event. So I take 95% of the door, and in taking 95% of the door, I'm also my own marketer. I'm my own team. My friends that you look at as just regular guys are now businessmen that help me run the enterprise that I now have. So that ridiculous number that you're looking at is one that we're proud of, because it's a testament to the hard work and dedication that they put into me and that I put into the craft as well.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Jarrod Glandt. Another episode of Young Hustlers right here on the Cardone Zone. Super excited to spend some time with you today talking about my favorite thing in the world, money, and how you can grow your income, how you can make more of it. If you have questions today about income, about how you can make more money, about your specific situation, would love to chat with you. Give me a call at the number right above my head here. If you're on Facebook, 305-865-8666. 305-865-8668. I'll be answering DMs on Instagram all week about money questions, so make sure that you hit me up. Try to get back to you as quick as I can there. A lot of people have been using that. So at Jarrod Glandt on Instagram, you can ask your questions there. Today's show is about 3 rules of growing income. Now, I think that most of you would agree that more money would probably be a good thing for you. It might help alleviate some stress from your life. It could give you access to nicer things or more choices of where you send your kids to school or where you go to eat for dinner, maybe even where you go on vacation. The truth is money is choices. And, I was talking to a really good friend of mine yesterday, and he was asking me questions about investing. And it's so funny because when people ask about investing, they think that I got to get this money working for me right away. And that's actually the wrong thing to do. I think that people get too focused too soon on how they can invest their money and multiply their money because they think there's something sexy about becoming an investor. But let me just tell you, if you're in a position where you can save $100,000, that's a good bit of money for most people. That's a good little chunk of money that you can put away. But the truth is, in the grand scheme of things, it ain't a whole lot of money. I mean, it might provide you with a little sense of security that hey, if something really bad happened, I could cover myself, for a period of time. But eventually that money's going to run out. And so the most important thing you can do is figure out the income game, because income allows you to feed investments, and income allows you to feed, opportunity. When opportunity comes along, if you've got money, you can capitalize on it. If opportunity comes along and you don't have money, you're broke, then you can't. The stock market on March 23rd hit some crazy lows. I remember literally watching it go down and down and down. And I remembered March 23rd was the day that they had said, man, this is insane. And then the next day, I actually put $100,000 into the market and played around with, in my mind, it was gambling. I mean, that's really what I looked at it as. But I saw an opportunity and I had some cash and I threw down. And I made $65,000 in probably 2.5 months playing around in the stock market with that money. But I wouldn't have made that if I didn't have the ability to throw that money out and actually take some risks. So income is important. And a lot of people think that it's just hey, I just want to go make more money. That's, they're in their job and they're just I want to make more money. But the first thing that you have to do, there's actually some things that you have to do. There's some things that you have to get in line if you want to grow your income. I call them rules. You can call them tips. You can call them whatever you want. But here's 3 things that are incredibly important if you want to grow your income. Again, you got income questions, give me a call, 305-865-8668. I got 2 dudes in the studio room there waiting to get your phone call and throw you on live with me today. If you're watching on Facebook, thanks for watching. If you're listening to the podcast, write a review, rate this thing, write a review. I love to go through and see what you guys think about what we're talking about. So rule number 1 of growing your income is you have got to check yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. So, a lot of people get into this trap of their head. They get stuck in their own world and they forget that there's a whole other ecosystem of things happening outside of their world. Maybe you work in a specific industry, maybe you work in a specific town, but you've got this little prison in your head that you're locked in, and you've gotten so familiar with what the 4 walls look like that it becomes a challenge for you to think what's possible outside of that. And if you want to grow your income, the first thing that you have to do is you've got to check yourself. You've got to understand that if you want to make more money, it's possible. And not only is it possible, it's actually easy. It's so much easier than you think it is. And if you think it's hard, it's because you've gotten too used to seeing the 4 walls around you, in the company that you work at, in the town that you live in, with your family and friends that you have. The walls have gotten so familiar that you can't even fathom to think that it's possible for you. we have the luxury of being connected with a lot of businesses in a lot of different industries and a lot of different people in many different countries even. People are making money every day. I'm thinking of a couple right now, Josh and Rochelle Solon, okay? This is a couple who, when we first met them, they had owned some gyms, but not too long before that, they were literally sleeping in the back of the gym because they were broke. And this was probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. Probably 4 or 5 years ago. And today, things are a world different for them. Like, I think they own a restaurant, they own a couple businesses that are making money, getting new cars. Like, there's a lot of really good things happening to them. And they just started getting the right information. I think about kids that I see that are going online and they're starting social media agencies or doing e-commerce or whatever, and they come in and bam, they're making $400,000 or $500,000 a year out of nowhere, it seems like. I look at salespeople that come in here, or even better yet, I look at people that come in here in support roles, customer service, maybe even front desk. And they go from front desk making $15 an hour to now on the sales team, Jack's probably gonna make $250 this year in his first year in the sales department. So like, people are making more money all around you. And if you wanna make money, the first thing that you have to bail on is this idea that it cannot happen for you. Because I promise you, it can. It can happen for you and it will happen for you. But you gotta stop settling for where you're at right now. You gotta become fed up with where you're at. And that's where for me, it started swinging. Like, when I got so sick of where I was, when I got so sick of being broke, when I got so sick of having to budget and wear the same clothes and constantly be thinking about I can't spend money because I don't have it. When I got fed up with that, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Work whatever hours, go move to whatever city, get whatever job. I don't care if I hate my job, I need money. And when I finally got to that point, my back was up against that point where I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. That's when things started changing for me, but not right away. It didn't happen overnight. What happened was I had to make that decision that I'm done going back, I'm done where I'm at, and now I'm gonna lean in and go to where I wanna go. And you gotta keep selling yourself on that, because in most cases, when you decide that you wanna make more money, there's this delayed gratification principle or thing that you need to get your head wrapped around, because it doesn't happen immediately. What happens is you end up making investments of energy and time and creativity, maybe even some pain, doing some things that make you feel really uncomfortable, leaving your friends and family, moving to a new city. You have to start making decisions and taking actions in the direction of this thing that you want. And it's gonna be brutal in the beginning because you're gonna be doing a lot more work and you're not gonna be seeing hardly any results. But I promise you, the one thing I can tell you, if you do the right thing long enough, over a long enough period of time, it is not a question about whether or not it'll happen for you. It will happen. You can guarantee that it will happen for you if you do the right things in the right amounts for the right period of time. It's a guaranteed outcome. What happens is people make this decision, they start moving down this road, and then they bail on it. They bail out. They get tired. They lose their confidence. They lose their faith that it's gonna happen. This is a guarantee. You can make more money, you can be more successful if you know the right things to do and then do the right things over a long enough period of time. It will happen for you. So you need to really get your head, this is super important. You need to get your head around the idea that you need way more money than you think. If you're making 50 grand a year and you think 100 grand a year is a lot and it's gonna solve all your problems, in the short term, you'll get excited about it, you'll have a little extra cash, but it's not gonna solve your problems. And I wish, because I know there's some of you out there that are watching this that are probably like me. I'm one of those people that no matter how many people tell me, I've gotta experience it for myself. You guys like that? Or can you actually take direction and blindly just, it's hard. And I wish that there was a way to program people to just do the right thing and not have to go through the pain of having to experience the circumstances or the events that will actually create the desire to do the right thing. It's a crazy thing. And I wish there was a solution for it. Some people, we're connected to enough people where some people can actually just like, you tell them what to do and blindly they will run. And then other people are like, nah, I don't know, man. And then they got to fail and then they got to fall back. And then unfortunately it takes time. So, you know, if there's a way that you can like shift this in your head to just have the faith to listen to people who are where you want to go or further than where you want to go, man, you're going to save yourself so much time and heartache and, you know, money and lost opportunity. I mean, it'll all change for you. But the number one thing about growing your income is you got to get your head right up here. You got to know it's possible. You got to get your head wrapped around a real number. Like, again, I was talking to this buddy of mine yesterday, and he's asking me about how to do this or that or the other thing. And I told him, I'm like, man, you need to, before you do any of this, you need to figure out what the outcome is that you're running at. Like, you know, when can you access this money that you're wanting to put in an IRA? When I'm 65. Okay, good. When you're 65, what do you want your life to look like? Because the money that you're talking about putting into that 401k, I'm betting that won't get you the life you want when you're 65. Can we agree on that? Okay. So when you are 65, what do you want everything to look like? Because all your decisions should be based on how you hit that target. Not what do I do with this 20 grand or this 50 grand or this 100 grand. Like your decisions should be based off of what is the outcome that I'm looking for. Because if you make decisions based on where you're at today, then you're definitely not going to end up where you want to be in the future if you don't know where you're running to. So you got to check yourself, number one. Number two rule of growing income is you've got to figure this out. It will not happen for you if you can't figure this thing out right here. You must figure out how to get into the creation of income. Okay? Like you have to figure out how to create income. And so if you're asking like, you know, what do you mean by that? What I mean by that is you have to figure out how to generate an activity, how to do an activity that creates income. So in my mind right now, I think that a lot of people receive income. Like in their mind, they receive income. They don't create it. It's a total shift of the mindset. You know, you show up for a job every day, you do your deal every day. Most people stuck in that receive a paycheck. They don't create it. They receive it. Oh, I punched the clock today. I came in, I did 8 hours today. I'm going in, I'm doing the work, and then I'm going to receive a paycheck. They're not into the creation of it. When you create income, when you can get your head wrapped around actually creating the income from something that may not even exist, you unlock one of the skills that will allow you to become as successful as you want in life and make as much money as you want to. But you can't get rich receiving money from people. You have to create it. You know, and I would challenge you, create money or income for yourself in any amount outside of what you're doing right now. This is one of the most, when we do challenges and we do coaching programs and mentoring, this is like one of the first things that we have people do. We say, go outside of your primary box, your primary means of creating income for yourself or receiving a check, depending on how you look at it. Go outside of that box and do something that makes you $1, $1. Like the magic of being able to go out, even if it's this crude, going out into public and just saying, can I have $1 from anybody? Standing on a corner going, can I have $1? Selling something for $1 can be the single thing that reinforces to you that you can actually create money. You can create income. And now all you have to do is figure out how the scale of that works. So how do you go out and create $100 rather than $1? How do you create $1,000 rather than $100? How do you create $10,000 rather than $1,000? Because every single person who became super successful did it because they had the ability to create. And this, I think, boils down to like a mindset of people who think that they, it's like Jeff always says, fixed mindset or growth mindset. My guy Jeff Bounds here. You've got to shift the way that you think into I can actually create something, or I can put something into existence that wasn't there before. This is a huge foundational element of creating income or building wealth, is that you're actually at cause over it. You're not the effect of it. Does that make sense? Like you really have to get in this idea, because when I figured out how to sell over the phone, and I could pick up and I could call somebody who didn't know me, who wasn't expecting my phone call. I could pick up the phone, I could get him on the phone, I can pitch him a product, and I can get him to say yes and send me money. When I figured that out, everything changed for me. Because my entire life I had worked in environments where you didn't have to chase that hard to get it. I worked in retail sales, people came to us. When I worked in outside sales and advertising, you still have to go out to get it, but dude, it was literally, the market that I was in was so easy. All you had to do was show up, and people paid you money. You received money, because I sold advertising in a territory, and the penetration of the magazine was that I sold advertising for was 95% of businesses in there advertised in it. They had to advertise in it, right? It wasn't a huge sales pitch, but it was just serving customers. I literally didn't have to push that hard, other than how many clients could I go see in a day in order to create that. So this was a massive shift for me when I came, and I learned that here. And so the creation of something, even if it's as simple as $1, our licensees, we have a licensee program where people can partner with us. They can take Grant's name, his material, they can go out and they can create a business out of it, and they can go monetize off the freaking massive amounts of marketing dollars that we spend, the 30 years of experience. They can take what we do and they can go teach people and make money off of it. The first thing that I tell them every time I talk to them is take this license that you now have and go sell something for $1. Because that $1 wall or that $1 barrier that you break down could be worth millions to you. And it's actually easy to go through that wall. It's an easy door to walk through. But for some reason, number one, people create this prison for themselves, and they live in this box where they can't think outside of their current space and their reality. It's the most bizarre thing in the world, but I've been there. I understand. I wish there was a shortcut to just say, hey dude, flip this switch and everything's gonna work out for you. But you actually have to start moving around and bumping into stuff and failing. Taking risk. Those are all the ingredients that start this whole process. So you want to make more money. Number one, you got to check yourself in the head. Number two, you've got to learn how to create it. You have to figure out how to do this. I challenge you. Go generate $50 of income. Exchange something that isn't your primary job or your primary source of revenue or money or income, and go do something outside of that and try to get $50 this week. Try to get $100. It could literally be $10. It can be $5. It can be $1. But get somebody to exchange with you. Because if you can master the exchange game, it doesn't matter if you're going for $1 or $1 million. That's why Grant's always saying, he's like, dude, it's harder to go for less money because the reward's less. You got to do it so many more times. Would you rather sell 1 million people on $1, or would you rather sell one person on 1 million? The difference is skill, right? So then you got to tackle that hurdle. But the most important thing is that you get into creation. Third and final point. If you go through this whole process without a target, you're going to be running blind. Targets are probably they're probably one of the most important things you can do in life. Goals and targets. It's like going on a road trip without a map. If you wanted to go someplace really far away and you didn't have a map, you could figure out where the road is, you could drive, you could feel like you were making a lot of progress, but you could have a plan to go from Atlanta to LA and you could end up in Boise, Idaho, and think that you were getting closer and closer and closer to the beach because you didn't have the map, you didn't have the road map, you didn't know where it was that you thought you knew where you wanted to go, but you didn't know how you were going to get there, what landmarks to look for. What do you do when you get into tech? You know nothing. And one of the biggest disservices that people make in life is they don't actually figure out what's going to make them happy. And I know that can be kind of a weird thing to think with, is like, what will make me happy? I don't know. What will make you happy? And that's why I move into like, hey, what does an ideal life look like for you? I want to be able to do a lot of really fun things with passive income and be able to not work and have the life that I want to live. Like, how amazing would that be? You don't have to work and you can do anything you want in life. I think most people would say yes to that. But here's the thing. Most of us, myself included, we're not going to be happy if we're not working. We're not going to be happy if we're not producing something. But the difference is having to work and wanting to work. That's a huge thing for me. And very few people, small percentage of people, do work that they love, get paid a lot of money for it, and still have the ability and the freedom to go do the things that they want to do. If you can figure that out, you're in like the stratosphere. A lot of people that make a lot of money have figured that out. They figured out how to make the money they want, have the freedom that they want, and do the work that they love. And that's why you see people who are worth tens of millions, even billions of dollars, and they're still working every day. It's because they love the thing that they do. I can't imagine, I don't know, because I ain't there, but can you imagine a billionaire who works 60 hours a week or 70 hours a week, but they hate what they do? Can you imagine that being a reality? Look at Grant. Grant has enough money for his 5 generations to be taken care of without working. But would Grant be happy if he wasn't working every day? Would he show up and do something that he hated for 50 hours a week? Would he do something he hated? No, of course not. Because you have to create, you have to produce. Like you have to actually, like at that point, you can go find the thing that you want to do. And maybe that's like charity work or something. I don't know. But you never get out of the work thing, because work is like a spiritual connection of production and producing something. Like it's like such a, you go mow the lawn, you feel good about yourself. You go exercise at the gym, you feel good about yourself. You finish a project, you feel good about yourself. You get something done or accomplished, you feel good about yourself. Like deep down in who we are as like a being, you have this idea that production will make you happier or satisfied. And so you can never get rid of that, but it's just your motivation for doing it that'll change. And so that's why it's super important to figure out what you actually want. If you could have the life that you want, would you want it exactly as you wanted? Would you want it at 40 or would you want it at 60? If you want it at 60, then that's great. Then you lay out your actions that you take to get there by 60. Okay? If you want it by 40, maybe the outcome doesn't change, but the work that you're going to need to do to hit it by that point will change, and the decisions that you make will change. A lot of what goes into hitting that target changes when you take 20 years off your deadline, right? And so when people, they watch Grant on social, Instagram or YouTube or whatever, or they watch the shows that we do and they're like, man, that seems excessive, that seems extreme. Well, we're trying to do something big in a short period of time. And that's why the most successful people in the world, you look at like the people that are out in the stratosphere, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all these people, dude, they operate on a different calendar. They're so connected to doing something massive, and they're so connected to doing it in a lifetime. Like they're literally, Jeff Bezos is like, man, I got to figure out how to go out into outer space. And it's such a big target for him. He's like, dude, I've only got maybe 30 more years left on this planet. Like, I got to figure this out. So But man, it can happen. It can happen for anybody. This was a big challenge that I had to overcome. Like, I remember being broke on a couch, on unemployment, smoking weed every day, and seeing, you can't get away from seeing people be successful. You see it on TV, you see it in town, you're driving your car down the street, you see the person with the big house, you're at the beach and you see the $50 million house on the cliff. Like, you can't get away from seeing people winning, you know? And I remember going, man, it can just never, it's not possible. How can it happen? Until I got so freaking sick and tired of being broke that I was like, I'm done. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Get out of my comfort zone, move out of town, take a job I've never done before, doing a thing I've never done before with somebody who I don't even know. Like, I had to do all of those things just to get started in this idea of creation. But the first thing I did was I got out of my head. The second thing that I did was I mastered creation. And then I got targets. So now I actually know how to put the skills that I have to work today to get me where I want to go when I'm 40. And I promise you, if you break down this and you spend some time with this could be one of the most important things you ever do in your life. Because you have the ability to live the exact life that you want. It's the most amazing thing in the world. And when you really figure this out, life starts getting so fun. It becomes a game. It becomes the most satisfying thing in the world because you're actually living out the exact life that you always dreamed of. Wouldn't it be great to do that? It's possible. It is totally possible. You just have to believe it's possible. You have to figure out how to start creating around you the life that you want. And then you got to get so crystal clear on your targets that you're willing to do whatever it takes in the short term to get where you want to go. We got any callers? I felt like that was like a long monologue.
We have David from Mississippi.
Who? David.
Mississippi.
David, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Jared?
How you doing, brother?
Man, you got it. I'm a huge, this is my third time calling, but anyways, I moved up in stages with Cardone. I've been listening to you, by the way. Good episode of Young Hustler, very motivational. I like the growth mindset versus six. Anyways, I started out, a little backstory. I read the 10X rule about a year ago. I was an entrepreneur before then, but I was in the military, had to shut my businesses down. When I went overseas, I was in the reserves. Came back in that, like, the 10X rule, it really helped give me that energy to get started again. And I was like, I can remember, Grant, in some of his videos talking about how if you teach somebody how to win, they'll be loyal to you for life. So I read the 10X rule. I was like, man, this book has really changed my thinking. It helped me blow things up, get past just the small things that, most everybody gets sucked up into and everything. And I got Cardone University individual, and it really helped me out. And then, man, y'all are persistent. Y'all call me every day for like 3 months, and I finally bought the corporate account. And I've been training my sales team, and it's a different animal than doing the individual account because it goes from, I can control how I treat my customers, showing up on time, giving like demonstrations, super freaking the demonstration, your greeting, all that kind of stuff. And, but like when I announced that I'm making the sales team, I got people that I'm bringing in, and a lot of it I'm getting smarter every day on just what I need to provide my salespeople, brochures, pricing, all that kind of stuff. And, one of the things when I was talking to y'all about creating a sales team is just make it mandatory for them to do Cardone University training. It probably, a lot of it's on me because I'm just developing that discipline every day. But, like, for me, it's like, I feel like when I've gone through some salespeople, and I feel like, first of all, it was awkward because I didn't have the proper, not on the Cardone University side, but the proper training on how, because I'm in the fence business. I train people on what our products are, how we.
So what's the question? I'm not grabbing the question here, David.
The question is, so like the salespeople that I've hired and gone like getting them to use Cardone University training and everything, and get them I want to get them on a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, good. So
I
then
feel like
what?
The company.
Yeah. So here's two things you need to do. Number one is your people will never like. Remember when I was talking about here? I was like, if you don't know the thing, why you're doing the thing that you're doing, it makes it really hard to do that thing. And I would guess that the first thing you need to do with your sales team is you need to have a real, like, down to earth, deep conversation about what they actually want in life. Because, dude, they're stuck in their prison right now. They're stuck in their room. They're stuck with their friends and their family and their city. They're stuck in their industry. They're stuck in that spot right now, and they can't think outside of that. So if people aren't inspired and motivated, they're never going to do more than average. They're always going to be, it's going to be like you're dragging an anchor. You know, you can only motivate and inspire so much before people have to be able to do the work themselves. Like, you can only do so many rah-rahs, you can only give them the tools so much before people actually have to want to do it. And one of the gaps that as a business owner that you need to connect is you need to connect the gap between where your people are and where they want to go. Most of them don't even know where they want to go, and that's the first problem. So you have to help them understand this. And I also said that you need way more money than you think. Most people, their number target is so far off from where they actually need it to be because they never spend any time to do the math and figure it out. And so it's like, no wonder why you can't get them to do Cardone University. No wonder why you can't get them to do the sales process the right way, because they are driving on a road trip with no map. You're like, hey, let's go across town, and they don't even know where the hell they're going. They're just driving in the car. And so you're like, turn left here, and they don't know that that's the right direction to take, but because they don't have the map, they don't know why they're turning left, so they don't. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get with your people and figure out what's important to them. You need to figure out what their goals and targets are, what the outcome is that they want to get out of their life. And then if they have some ridiculous target, you need to show them why it's too low.
Yeah,
like you have to connect the dots, so when they show up every day, they're not working for you, but every phone call they make, every customer they talk to is getting them closer to the thing that they want, not the thing that you want. So that's
for sure. I agree.
That's step one. Step two is you need to get more involved with your team and the training that they do. And so you need to role play, you need to drill, you need to teach. And if you're too busy growing your business, which I totally get and is a valid reason not to be doing that, somebody needs to. So if it can't be you, it can't be someone on your team, you need to get with our sales team and you need to call them and you need to say, hey, put me on your coaching program. Because we have a coaching program, we actually just launched it last week. We have a coaching program where if you have a company now, when you sign up for Cardone University as an option, you can invest in our coaching package, which puts one of our trainers training your people for you every single week.
So I got and I love the sales side of things, but I gotta step back and focus on systems because we need the infrastructure. Because the sales things, I've noticed that that's the only way to grow a business with sales. But and I need somebody to kind of take over that.
Dude, then David, you need to get on our coaching program and have one of our trainers work with your people every week. What's the name of your company?
It's when I got on, it was Lawn Commander. Now I'm in the construction business. That's why I love Cardone, because it makes you think big. And so we were just out cutting yards, and then we had some very good luck when we started on Cardone University. I offered the sales opportunity to everybody in my company. And they're like, well, if we're going to sell stuff, we're not going to get, just like you were talking about earlier, because I was listening to your phone call. Why sell $1 million $1 product when you could go out and sell, $1 million product?
Yeah, or $100,000 products. David, do you know who your rep is? Your rep is here?
Jarrod with a K.
Jarrod K. Yeah, I'll have him call you and explain to you how the coaching program works, because this is actually something that we built. Because, I mean, I've been with Grant for 10 years. Over the last 10 years, we've been selling Cardone University to companies. They have great success, great results. But there are also companies that can't make it work because they're trying to grow the business. They don't have anybody who can run it, and they end up not getting the ultimate result that they're looking for, because nobody's helping push on it and drive it. For whatever reason, they don't have the staff, they don't have the time, the owner's trying to grow and scale the business and doesn't have the opportunity to do that. Whatever the case may be, we created this so that one of our trainers could actually lead this for companies. So if you're on Cardone University right now, is a company. This is an offer that you have access to right now. All you have to do is get your rep on the phone. If you have a company right now and you're not on Cardone University and you've thought like, hey man, that Cardone University program sounds good, but my people aren't just going to do the video. They need more engagement. They need more facilitation. Then we have a coaching program now that gives them access to the content, plus it gives them access to one of our trainers on a weekly basis. So if you guys want more information on this, if you're an existing customer or if you're wanting to learn more about how we can do this for your company, send an email to Elliot, E-L-L-I-O-T, is it T-T? Two T's? E-L-L-I-O-T-T, Elliot at grantcardone.com. Elliot at grantcardone.com. If Todd's easier for you to spell, email Todd at grantcardone.com. T-O-D-D at grantcardone.com. This is one of the things, we've got 40 customers that are on this program already, and we launched it a week ago. So this is, when we launched it immediately, it started flying off the shelf because people actually want this kind of help. So we can facilitate it for you. We can provide it for you. Growing your income is the most important thing that you can do as a professional in your career. It's the most important thing you could do as a head of a household or as a producer for the family, because it just gives you access to everything you want so much faster. The timeline reduces significantly if you can create additional income. If you can turn on an income switch and know how to make more money, your life will change for the better. So I appreciate you guys spending some time with me today. Are we clear? Okay. Appreciate you guys spending some time with me today. I hope this was an impactful show for you. I hope you got some good stuff out of it. I hope that you can ask yourself some questions personally and professionally and get a more of a scope of what this all looks like for you in your life. 10xwebclass.com if you want to figure out how to earn more income, if you want to figure out how to multiply your income. You can learn from a show like this, or you can learn straight from GC, the man himself. Put together a free training on it, 10xwebclass.com. There's 4 things that you've got to know if you want to increase income, and he covers each of them. 10xwebclass.com. You can click the little link in the box here, or you can just visit the site directly, 10xwebclass.com. Thanks so much for spending some time with me this week, and remember, the only people who condemn the hustle are the ones who've already given up on the hustle themselves.
What if I could give you access to that one thing in my life that has made all the difference in who I am today? Whether it was writing 8 books, buying $2 billion worth of real estate, the marriage I have, the family I have, there's been one thing in all my 35 years of endeavors that has speeded up, given me the confidence, provided me with the persistence, and that thing is, you already know what I'm talking about? It's mentoring. It's mentoring. It's picking the right person at the right time in my life. You know, they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But God, you got to know this. Like the student is ready at different points in their life for different things in their life. This is something I'm extremely passionate about. If you're ready to go get it all, join me. I promise you this is a game changer. Let me mentor you.